We'll
Yeah.
go with that. You know better. Your mom knows better.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to this Facebook Live. My name is Doyle Buehler, and I'm going to be getting into a cool conversation, which I was just having with Carlos Redlich, who's a legend in the copywriting profession. And we're going to get rolling with him coming up very, very quickly. So welcome to the show, Carlos. We'll get started pretty quick. I just want to do my quick intro for the new people that are listening. Please feel free to ask any questions as well, and like and share it also. So as I said, my name is Doyle Buehler. Welcome to the Digital Leadership Facebook Live series. My goal here is to help you better understand and pursue what matters most in your digital business. Actually, you know what, Carlos? Maybe you could write some cool copy for an intro.
Right.
Because it does get kind of long, and I've always struggled with that. Anyway, the purpose of these Facebook Lives is to answer the one important question, what real world digital strategies actually work for my business? And in today's show, like I said, who I'm talking with is the legendary copyright expert, Carlos Redlich, and see what copywriting means and how much power it actually has. So totally welcome. I'm totally glad you can make it, Carlos. I know we've been trying to work this for the last little bit. So thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, man. Hey, I appreciate you having me on the show. We've been going back and forth playing, what is that, like Facebook tag or something.
Yeah.
So it's cool to finally hop on. I was telling you earlier, I even got my full cup of coffee here ready to roll.
Yeah, no, fantastic.
Day to day.
And Carlos, if you're following him on Facebook or wherever, he's always doing these amazing deals and getting this amazing PR, and it's always blown my mind. And so now he's going to talk about it, right?
Yeah. Well, one of the secrets is using guys like yourself who've got a cool audience, a cool show, and I just kind of pop on for a few minutes and kind of leech off your people.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Well, I might have to charge you for that then.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, that's good. So tell me about copywriting. I don't think a lot of businesses don't really understand what is copywriting and why is it so important and why have we kind of forgotten about it?
Yeah, definitely. So, it's a good question. A lot of times people don't know what copywriting is. They think it's maybe like a trademark thing, or they're going to copyright a book or something. And it's a different type of copywriting, right? It's with a W, copywriting with a W, right?
Yeah, I can barely spell it right all the time.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So essentially, what you're doing with copy is you're making people take action, right? So let's imagine you've got a business and you want to run a Facebook ad or something to get attention to your business. Well, when you run that Facebook ad, there's going to be a picture that's going to stop the people, or a video that's going to stop the people, but then you need some kind of wording on there that's going to make them take action, make them click on a link, and make them go somewhere, right? So what copy does is it helps people, especially cold prospects, what I really focus on, but you do this if you've got an email list and warm prospects, but essentially what copy is it takes somebody from zero and makes them move to another place, right? It makes them take action on something. Now, that could be taking action on giving you their email address, taking action by giving you money for a product, whatever it is, the copy, the words, the message that's getting across, that's what copywriting is. It's making people move and actually take action on something. Generally, hopefully, something that's good for them, right?
Yeah, well, that's the case is you want to make it beneficial to them.
Yeah.
But how does that, I don't know, walk us through that process, sort of that strategy that says that this writing is critical. Like how critical is it to getting business?
Yeah.
Let's be honest here.
Yeah, so let's imagine and again, you can do this as if it was direct mail or TV, but I think the simplest and fastest way to really get the message across is if you're running an advertisement, it's important that advertisement makes you some kind of money, right? So let's say you're sending a Facebook ad and you're sending people to your website and you have some kind of widget there that you're trying to sell. Well, if you sent, say, 100 people there and nobody bought, you spent, maybe $50, $100, whatever you're spending, trying to get all those people to your site, but no one is doing anything. Now, imagine if you had the right words on the page that would make even 2 or 3 or even 4 people buy out of every 100. Well, now you kind of got to just do your numbers. Am I getting 4 sales for every 100 people? Is that making sense? Is that making money because of the right messaging? Because that's the power of it, right? You can literally just change a few words. For example, if you're if you're teaching something, right? Let's say you have a course or something and you're going to teach it. One of the things you want to stay away from is using words like teach, learn, stuff like that. Why? Because if you go back to when you were in elementary school or primary school or whatever it might be, you're going to remember that you probably didn't like being taught stuff because it meant you have homework, right? You don't like learning new things. You like being shown stuff. So we changed up the words, and you'll actually see a noticeable difference in your marketing, in your response rate, if you change words like teach to show, right? So instead of I'm going to teach you how to make money online, I'm going to show you how to make money online, right?
Okay.
Instead of you're going to learn how to get new customers in your business, you're going to discover how to get new customers in your business, right? I'm going to reveal how to get new customers in your business. So just changing certain words can dramatically improve whether you're getting a lead, whether you're getting a sale, whatever it might be. So again, the importance of copy, it doesn't mean that you have to be the best copywriter in the world, but if you're able to kind of narrow down on some of the basics, some of the forms, just like what I was saying, from teach to show, from learn to discover, just changing those words, you'll see a huge noticeable impact in your actual marketing.
Okay. Yeah. No. Well, that's good. How do you know what words to use then? Like what are you looking for?
Yeah. Well, one of it, I mean, obviously the cop out answer would be like, I've just done it and tested it, and I know like some of the stuff that's worked and some of the shit that hasn't worked. But if you want kind of a way to wrap your head around it, some stuff is, I try to think of how can I sell the magic pill, right? People are always wanting generally the easiest to search. Now this won't be true if you're talking to like weightlifters and muscle heads and stuff like that. There's very few markets where you can be like, you're going to work hard, you're going to sweat, you're going to hate your life for the next 30 minutes, but you're going to love it. Some shit like that. There's few markets where you can go the hard approach route and they like it. They're like, yeah, I'm training, I'm working hard, right? But for the most part, most people like things that are easy, that's magic, that's done for you. So as close as you can get to language that makes it simple, easy, magical, done for you, that's kind of the angle you want to go for. So again, going back to the teach or learn thing, when you have to learn something, it's insinuating that you got to work, right? You got to actually work to learn. But if you're being shown something, or if you just discover something, it's almost as if it happens all on its own. It doesn't require effort. It's effortless. It happens, right? So as close as you can get to magic legally, as close as you can get to selling magic
without pills.
Right. The better. Well, that's another great. I actually written a lot in the supplement space. And that's how I think about it. People will take the pill because it's like, I don't have to work out. I don't want to run 20 miles a week or some nonsense and do all these. I'll just pop the magic pill. Right now, you have to backtrack. You can't say certain things because the feds will come after you for false advertising.
Right.
But
yeah.
Your first draft of copy should just be totally non-compliant. It's not something that's going to be pushed out into the internet land, but it's something that's going to make you get all of your thoughts out, get all that good stuff out on paper, and then you start taking it back. What can I really say? I can't say you're going to take this pill, you're going to lose 30 pounds. But I can say you're going to take this pill, it's going to increase your testosterone or whatever the heck it's going to do. And because of that, you have the ability to lose 30 pounds. I can kind of structure it. But if you get the main magic point across, that helps a lot.
So do a kind of an exercise that helps you isolate those magic points, those magic moments kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't done this one in a while, but I used to kind of try and isolate and find the magic pill. I would just literally write it down. I would write down all of the problems that people are feeling, and not just problems that are obvious, right? The problems that are like in the back of their head that you have to bring up front. So for example, so one problem would be, I don't have enough money, right? That could be a problem. But a deeper problem would be, I can't afford to take my girlfriend to the dinner she deserves. I can't afford to help my mom buy this. Right now we're getting a little bit more emotional, getting more into their real problems. And when you do that, you list them all out, as many of them as you can, the emotional problems that they can't do something, or just the baseline problem of, hey, I have no money, right? You list all that on one side, and then on the other side, you list out what are the magic pills, right? So how do you make money in a magic pill? Sign up for this program and bam, you're going to make money. Okay, can't totally say that. So we got to take it, right? We got to fix that. But when you've got all of these different issues lined up, you just assign magic bullets, magic pills to them, and then you'll be able to see right there, oh, this one right here stands out. That's a killer, right? And it's funny, the closer you can get to not just magic, but like an emotional problem solving word or technique. That's the emotion is where you're selling them. You justify the stuff with logic. Like people will buy a weight loss pill so they can lose weight and look sexy and all this stuff, and then they'll justify it with some kind of logical explanation, like I don't want to die because I'm too fat, right? But that makes thinking of, right? They just want to look good with their six pack.
Yeah, no, for sure. I could use help in that department. Quick, sell me something.
Man, me too. I'm trying to get these magic pills.
Yeah, really. I wanted to ask you, Carlos. Forgive me, but I didn't. How did you get started? I didn't start with this earlier, but how did you get started in copywriting? Like, what was that hook that said, "Man, I got to do this. This is fantastic."
It's kind of funny, and it's pretty funny. It's happy you asked that now. I learned copywriting and marketing and this whole sales deal from my martial art instructor years ago. I'm 30 now, and probably when I was 19 or 20 years old is when I first started getting exposed to this stuff. And I was a really insecure kid. I mean, I would look down when I talk. I wouldn't look at people in the eye. And copywriting almost became a way of just self-improvement. I didn't learn copy to make a fuckload of money, right? I was just learning copy. I learned to communicate.
Okay.
And when I did that, I was like, man, I'm getting pretty decent at this typing stuff, and it's making my speech come. Like, I'm able to speak clearer now. I'm able to get my what's up here. I'm able to get it out. Before, I would have something in my head, but the words wouldn't come out. It would come out mumbled. I couldn't describe it, right? But as I got better at copy, I got better at communicating overall, and that's how I kind of got started. I mean, the progression of it would be, I guess, I started writing copy for my martial art instructor, Dwight Woods, who I'm actually flying up. He should be here tomorrow because we're launching a little program together. So it's kind of cool, right? Where like he showed me copy, and now I'm flying him down to launch a marketing product. So it's
fantastic.
Cool. But I learned it from him, and he was telling me, he's like, man, you know what? You suck at selling. He said it really nicely. He didn't say it that way, but you really suck at selling. We got to get you better. Why don't you study this copywriting stuff? Because you don't have to deal with a person. You can learn the psychological stuff and all the same elements, but just by writing it. So the fear of getting rejected and everything with people kind of went away because I didn't have that. I was just hiding behind my keyboard, hiding behind my paper, writing stuff.
Yeah.
And as I got better at that, I also became more confident. And I was like, that's cool, man. It like went hand in hand. So I learned copy just so I could like communicate with normal, like just so I could be normal and talk to people. And it just so happened to be that it was a highly paid skill. So I was like, well, let's keep doing it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And yeah, no, I love reading your stuff because when you write like a post, you write a post, and it's like, wow, you just kind of have to read it to see how it ends. And you're fantastic at telling these stories. What would sort of be one of the the best piece that you've produced, whether for yourself or clients or that sort of thing? What would you don't have to give names, but kind of if you can, great. If not, just sort of set the stage for that.
Yeah, it was funny. One of my first clients, I had my first 7-figure VSL or whatever that had made 7 figures, not for me, but for my client. And it was one of my first clients who I'd ever had that was in Europe. And because I'm from the US here. So for me, it's so funny. I was like, I got online, I started meeting people from all around the world, and it's like my brain exploded. It's like, I guess a typical American thing. You think you're the only one in the world. And you're like, holy shit, America's big.
Yeah.
So anyway, I guess that's like an American mind-blowing thing. Everyone else is like, other people. What do you want?
That's okay. Yeah, no, go on.
but I mean, yeah, so when I figured it out, I'm like, dude, there's real people. I've never met this dude in Europe. I wrote some shit for him in like a month or something, a little bit less than a month, and it's crushing. It's like, it's making money. By now, I mean, it's probably been beaten by other copywriters who are better than me. I don't know. Actually, that's a good question. I should check it out. But I remember thinking that, and I'm like, dude, this is crazy. He's making real money. He paid me a few stats, and he's making tons of money. So my mind kind of started working. That was one of my first successes, I guess. I've had others since then, but they don't stick out as much as that first one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. And so besides reading some of my stuff, what's the worst copywriting you've seen? And yes, you can name names.
Oh, man. Your stuff isn't bad, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. I saw the post for this thing, and it was good. I liked it. But, I don't know. I mean, I don't have any names. Like, you can tell, like the stuff that I don't personally like. I just read some stuff today. So one of my clients, he's outsourcing he has a client, he's outsourcing that person's services to me, if that makes sense, right? He's like white label stuff. He sent me over some stuff that another copywriter had written for this network marketing company, and I'm like, this is really horrible. Like, they're talking to them like a corporate, I don't know, like a corporate drone or something. Like, there's no communication skills like involved in this. And so one of the things, I guess that's probably the worst one I've seen, because I just saw it like 20 minutes ago today.
But what do you think it's missing then? Like, because you must look at other stuff and go, yeah, this is like crap.
Yeah. The number one thing that's missing is there's no story. There's no relationship. There's no relationship building thing, right? So a lot of times you can definitely have just pitch emails. Like, you can just say, hey, check out my shit. I'm having a free training. Boom. Yeah. And that's fine. It'll work. But usually that's done after you've built some kind of relationship with your prospect or your lead. And the way I like to do it is I follow kind of a simple formula, and I'll lay it out right here. I'll lay the whole thing out, actually.
Yeah, no, cool. Because I wanted to get from you, like, your top tips to say, here's how you do great copy.
Yeah. Some of the tips that work for me, if anyone's ever seen any of my emails, they almost always end with a question mark or an ellipsis, a little 3 dots at the end, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why is because it creates some kind of curiosity, right? The question mark, if it makes them say, yes, like, do you want to make more money? I mean, that's not a good subject line, but some kind of yes question as a subject line, it'll make them think, oh yeah, I do want to learn more about that. Let me click on that, right? Or if you have the 3 dots, it's the unfinished sentence, and they gotta figure it out. What's that last thing? So I've kind of got that. That's what I call like headline 1. My subject line ends in a question mark or the 3 dots. Yeah. Headline 2 or subject line 2 would be, instead of saying like what most people would do in the beginning of an email, they'll say, Dear Jay, blah, 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 blah. And they start with the Dear Jay or whatever. So instead of doing that, you start in the middle of the story, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy, especially if these are normal follow-up emails. Like, it could be, I was running in the woods, you leave it, but, blah. And you just start in the middle of whatever the story is, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So.
Blah, 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 something happened. And then, so you start with the question mark or the ellipses in the subject line. You transition into the second subject line, which is essentially the part of the copy in the email. And that's just a 2 or 3 line little mini short story where it's kind of creating the setting for the email, right? It's starting the, I woke up here, or I was doing this today or yesterday, some kind of story thing to bring them in, right? Let me see if I can make one up off the top of my head. We'll just make some up.
Sure.
I'll try and sell my coffee as best as I can, guys.
Sell me some water.
Sell you some water. So,
or vodka.
So my question, very basic, very simple. If I was going to write an email, I would say something like, do you drink coffee? Question mark, right? So that, yes, right? Hopefully. If you do, then you're going to click on the email, right? They click on the email, they open it, and my short story could be something like, I woke up at 4:30 in the morning, eyes blurry, kicking over or falling over as I walked out of the bed. I stumbled down the stairs and started making my pot of coffee. You'll never believe what happened.
Yeah.
Hey, Carlos here. Right.
Tell me more.
Right. Yeah. So now, and I just introduced myself, and I go into. So I started with the question mark, the 3 dots. I have my little short story, that was literally my short story. You see how it just starts right in the middle of it and just goes. And then I introduce myself. The third part would be the actual introduction. Hey, Carlos here. Hey, blah, blah, blah here, or whatever. And then you can go into your little pitch of what you're going to do and your call to action. But the most important parts are getting the email opened and getting it read, right? Then you can focus on getting the clicks and getting all that stuff. But if you can't get past the first part, which is getting it open, there's no point for the email. And if you can't get past the first chunk where they're reading, in the beginning part of the email, then you're definitely not going to get them. So I would say focus on those 2 primarily, and then you could even have some half, I hope I'm not cussing too much, but you can have some half-assed copy after your, hey, this is Carlos, or hey, blah, blah, blah. You could literally be like, if you've ever wanted to have coffee, I literally have the hookup on the absolute best coffee, directly shipped over from Colombia or whatever. Click this link to see if you can get yours for free.
Yeah.
Bang.
Yeah.
Very simple. But those first parts are super important.
Yeah, no, fantastic. So what happens next with copywriting? Like, it sounds like, again, a lot of businesses miss the whole point of really good copy. So what should they be doing here? Like, what should businesses think about when they're putting all these pieces together?
A lot of people use copy and they don't know it, right? So if you, like, I owned a martial arts school back in the day, I owned two. And so when I owned them, I used copy and I didn't even realize it. People would walk into the door or walk in through the door. We call them walk-ins. They just walked in, they saw us off the main street. And then they come up and say, you know, I used to teach Muay Thai, but they would generally say, hey, you guys do like karate or kung fu or fitness or something like that? And then I would have my script. I'd be like, oh, cool. Are you asking for yourself or someone else? Great. Have you ever done martial art before? I would have my script, but that script is copy. So what you can do is, if you're not familiar with copy, but you're good at closing people, let's say you're a gym owner and you're good at taking people who are cold right off the street and turning them into paid members or signing up for some kind of free trial or appointment. What you can do is now can that pitch, put it up on your website, and now you're probably going to have a way better shot of converting people online, because you already know if you literally can the same stuff you would say in person, keep the language. Don't make it sound more professional or corporate or anything. Keep that language, keep the message, and put it up on an email, put it up on a website. That at a basic level will start giving you results and start kind of making little sparks pop. Like, oh man, this actually worked. I got one person to sign up. I didn't even have to talk to them. That's huge. Maybe I should do more of this, right?
Yeah. So you need to make it consistent, though, is what you're saying. And you need to get it out there, right? You need to be prolific.
Yeah, you want to keep it. Consistency is huge. I'm glad you kind of brought that up. It's one of the things that if you're running, let's say, a Facebook ad, one of the things that I like to do is keep consistency with a Facebook ad. And here's what I mean. My headline of my Facebook ad, let's say it's, do you like coffee, right?
Yeah.
If you clicked on that, they obviously responded to the question, do you like coffee? So that's a good question. That's some good piece of copy. You may as well put it on your next page, right? Because they clicked on it. So let's say your next page asks them to opt in and give you their name, email, and telephone number, right?
Yeah.
So clicked on it, they go to the next page, it says, do you like coffee? Same thing that made them respond before. So you want to put it there first thing. Do you want coffee? Put your name, email, and telephone number in here to see if you can win a free bag of coffee. And then put a little countdown time. We're only doing this for the next 30 days. Or some shit, right? So what that does, creates a little bit of urgency. They got to do it. It spiked that you asked a yes question or use the same headline that made them say yes and take action before. So now, you know, it stands reason to believe or whatever that the shit's going to work again if you copy and paste it. Congruency is huge. So it's funny that you brought that up.
Yeah, no, cool. And it seems, oh God, I'd love to talk with you for like an hour. Actually, we'll have to get you back for like a full podcast kind of thing coming up. I'd love to do that. Because I want to keep these lives kind of short, which isn't good in this case because I really want to pick your brains more. But in closing, like there seems to be a lot of, if you go too far with copywriting, could you get into that space of clickbait where it's just about the headline and it's just about getting you, clickbait?
See, I look at clickbait in a couple ways, right? You just got to fulfill your promise. Clickbait is fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. If I'm selling some coffee shit and I'm making a clickbaity headline on why you need, like, that's fine because it's congruent. What I'm not a big fan of is like the bait and switch type of clickbait. Like, do you want coffee? You click on it, say, oh, we're sold out. Go buy some tea.
Or here's some supplements.
Or some supplements. Yeah, that doesn't even, it's silly. It's silly. But the whole point of copy is to make them take the next step. So when you think of clickbait, I love it because if the only purpose my Facebook ad or let's say my Facebook ad in this case, the only purpose it has is to get someone to stop, read, and click on the link. It's not to sell what's on the other side, like that page is for. It's just to sell the click. So if you do a clickbaity stuff and you get that click, the way to keep, now going back to congruency, we keep that title now on the landing page, so we're fulfilling on the promise, right? So it's like I clicked over because of this clickbait shit, but now if it's something different, you'll have just gotten a click. You won't actually get a conversion. But if you keep that up there, you have a higher chance of getting a conversion. So again, I'm not opposed to clickbait. I know it's kind of a bad name or whatnot, but it's just like, you got to grab attention.
Well, yeah, but you said it there that it has to be congruent, right? You can't just be, trying to pull the wool over your eyes. Oh, bait and switch kind of thing. Cause those are horrible. But I mean, the essence of what what you want to do is get people to click. So whether you call that clickbait or not is totally up to you. But yeah, I was referring to sort of that crappy stuff. The spammy stuff.
Yeah, lock those guys up. They gave us a bad name.
Yeah.
Have you ever read a book called Trust Me, I'm Lying?
No, but I've picked it up a few times.
Yeah, you got to check it out, man. I'm in the middle of it, and I love it. It's so good. It's about this guy. I'm about to sell this book essentially. The reason I love it is because he's a former media buyer, maybe a current media buyer. Or
what's his name? Bryan Holaday. Yeah, I've read some of his stuff. The Obstacles the Way, and totally love that.
Dude, it's good. He has a great way. So one of the basis of it, at least where I'm at right now in the book, is he'll essentially put out fake news to get attention for his book or his clients or whatever it might be. But the way he does it is genius. He'll essentially he'll hit low-level blogs that don't really verify their resources very much. And then what he'll do is he'll essentially make that story go up instead of going from CNN, down to the blogs. He starts at the blogs and then tells CNN, hey, I can't believe you guys haven't picked up this story yet. There's 20 different blogs that are talking about it. Why haven't you picked it up? Some shit like that. Right now they get picked up, and it's like, man, it's so genius. Most people are like, how do you get on CNN? And this guy's literally just manufacturing everything. It's genius. So anyway, I don't even know the guy. I just picked up his book and
no, cool. I'll have to pick that one up as well. Cool. So we got a comment from Jason Pennington. What's up, guys? Great content as always. All right, thanks, Jason.
Yeah, Jason. I'm gonna put him out there. Jason's an 8-figure dude.
Oh, fantastic.
On e-com. I won't say what he sells, but he's a great guy, man. It's cool to have him on the show.
Okay.
Commenting on the show.
No, for sure. So cool. Just to wrap up, how do we get in touch with you, Carlos? Where can we find you online?
Yeah, definitely. So if anybody wants me to either help them with copy, write their copy, stuff like that, if we're a good fit, just shoot me a message on Facebook. That's generally how I respond. I don't have a website for copywriting services. I usually just work by referral. So you can do that. Other than that, if you just want to learn more about copy, I would just go on Amazon and type in the Copywriting Playbook. It's my book. It's only $9. And it's badass. It's literally, if you don't know anything about copywriting, you're a total beginner. It'll lay out everything about copy, all of the different strategies, all the different things about it, the terminology, all that. But on top of it, I also give you 40 or 60 pages of literally just templates that you can copy and paste and start using and changing for your niche. So my pitch would be go grab my book called The Copywriting Playbook for $9 on
Cool. Oh, fantastic, Carlos. And I'll have all those links in the notes and the LinkedIn articles as I publish basically each of these articles as well. So thank you so much for joining us today. Really, really appreciate it. It's been a fantastic. Like I said, I want to get you on the podcast at some point so we can go into a little bit more depth on some of these issues because it really affects a lot of businesses, as obviously you know. So
yeah, definitely, man. I appreciate being on the show. We'll definitely have to go longer next time.
Yeah, no, for sure. Cool. So, so thanks everybody for watching. As I mentioned before, there's 3 core categories that we go through as part of these Digital Leadership Facebook Live events. The State of Digital is on Monday. It's where I talk about specific ideas, insights, and what's happening now and how they affect your business. Today on Wednesday, I'm having my digital leadership guest, in this case, Carlos Redlich, where I interview experts in the field to kind of help you get some traction in terms of what you can actually use with people in the field as well. And then on Fridays, I have a digital discovery, strategy and marketing Q&A where you can ask any questions. So tune in for those ones. Thanks again, Carlos, and we'll see everybody online.